guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing sort of like a mental health type video. So basically I'm going to be sharing my favorite healthy coping skills. So personally I do have my set of unhealthy coping skills that I am trying to stop doing. So that's why I'm sharing my healthy coping skills for people in a similar situation to me, and maybe they just don't get the supports that they need to tell them these kinds of coping skills. And I have quite a few people on my mental health team. Obviously these aren't always going to work and they're not always going to be suited for the type of situation you're in. If you're in a crisis, you can try these, but I'm gonna talk about my healthy coping skills that you can use like every day. That's the intro. Let's go. The first one that I'm gonna mention is compression or a weighted blanket. I know I've seen on TikTok you can actually get like weighted hoodies and weighted robes, so that falls under the same category. Personally, I am a big fan of deep pressure. I'm autistic and it's just something that really calms me down or soothes me. So if I'm really stressed or really overwhelmed or overstimulated, I would definitely go for like compression and deep pressure type therapy. It's just a very soothing coping strategy that I find works really well for me when I'm overwhelmed. I have a binder on right now because I hate my chest, but I also really like the compression it gives me. It makes me feel safe, and I also like the fact that it gets rid of my boobs, but it's just very compressing and I like that. And I like that I can wear it for 8 to 10 hours, which with a weighted blanket, you're not really supposed to use it for a long period of time just because it loses the therapeutic effect. And I find it very useful. Well, the next coping skill I'm going to mention is journaling. And I know journaling is not everyone's favorite coping skill, but if you're in a situation where you have so many big emotions and you kind of want to like tell someone about them or get it out, but you're too nervous, too scared or something to go tell an actual person, I find that it's useful to write down what you want to say, because in a way you're getting it out without the fear of being judged. But yeah. And I like to turn my journal into like sort of an art project. So it's like bullet journaling, but like 2.0, where you just kind of like decorate it and then write whatever. And I find this helpful sometimes. It's definitely not my #1 coping skill, but if I just really have no one to talk to at that moment and I need to tell someone something, but I'm too scared to tell someone, no one's home, then I just journal. #3 is animals. So animals are great for being overwhelmed or feeling anxious or stress. Any negative emotion, I find animals work really well. You can see my hamster in the background, and I have 4 dogs right now. We're like babysitting a dog, but we've been babysitting her for like a year, but we're babysitting that dog, and then we have 3 dogs of our own. So whenever I'm really overwhelmed and nothing else is working, sometimes this is even my first choice, is sitting with my pets or animals, getting out, taking the dogs for a walk, kind of things like that. Or I will lay in my bed and set them on top of me, so I still am getting that deep pressure therapy, but at the same time I'm with my favorite thing in the world, my dogs. I love them so much, and I find that it just works really well. It's a good distraction, especially if you're like going to go play with your dog or play with your cat, whatever animal you have. Not everyone has an animal in their house, so this is kind of geared towards the people that do. But yeah, the next coping skill is cleaning. So sometimes when I'm in like a big depressive episode, my room doesn't look too good, like at all. Like I won't be able to see the floor. But if I am anxious and have lots of anxious energy, honestly, cleaning is a really good way to get that negative energy, if you know what I mean. Like when you just have so much energy built up inside you, but it's not like, yay, I'm so happy energy. It's like, help me energy. I find that cleaning is a good way to stay productive while exerting your energy if you don't want to like go for a run, because Usually when I have this kind of energy, and if I went for a run, I wouldn't run very far because I'd get tired and then I'd come back home and then I'd have this energy again. I think cleaning is a really good way because it's like endurance more so than sprinting. Okay, so the last one is fidget toys. So honestly, if you have some fidget toys that work well for you, like I have a snappy one that I like to use, I find this works best if you're in a public setting. So you can do this at home, but I think my number one coping skill for when you have anxiety or you're really struggling or in crisis in public and you're not like unsafe, honestly, I think that fidget toys are very useful because like most of the time they're pretty quiet and discreet. No one's really gonna notice unless they're looking at your hands or whatever. But even if they do, it's not that big of a deal and it's very portable. So I wouldn't recommend like Pop-Its in public, but I'd recommend like small like Tangles or like the snappy things. I don't know. Those ones are really good for public settings, and a lot of the time people don't, like they just don't notice. It's just a tool that you can use pretty much anywhere, whereas some of these coping skills you can only do at home or in a setting that's not public. So yeah, I think that one's really good for people that, even if you have ADHD, autism, anxiety, those really work when you're in public. Okay, so those are all the coping skills I'm going to be sharing today. If you want another video like this, just comment down below and I'll probably make one. I hope this helped you kind of figure out some more coping skills or things you can use to kind of ground yourself, if that makes sense. If you're watching this video, you probably know what I mean. Before I go like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Obviously, you don't have to do that. I just really appreciate when you guys do. It makes me really happy. And follow me on Instagram at Barrett_WG. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. Bye guys.